Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw for week 44. Another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week. As ever, give us a like, and your mission after this video is to share it with somebody awesome who hasn't seen it before. Super helpful. First one is Flipper Zero. This is a, let's call it a hacking device, although it's really for pen testing or penetration testing to make sure things are safe. It can do a whole load of really interesting things to get up to shenanigans. So it can emulate and write RFID chips, so that will be your credit card or your door pass. It can listen to infrared signals, so remote controls, and transmit those as well. It's a security device. It can be programmed. It can do Bluetooth. So for instance, you can then connect it to your PC, emulate Bluetooth, and start doing key insertions. So you can start programming essentially on the computer or making it do all sorts of interesting things. So if you've got somebody in your life who is a hacker, this is a great Christmas present. Go to the website, by the way. There are lots of other things where you can get these. It's sold out at the moment. I've tried to get one, but it is sold out. You can buy it as part of a sort of $400 kit, but it's about $170 or something like that. So this is ace. Definitely want one of those, just to emulate my door opener, of course. TikTok have an event coming up this Wednesday, and it is going to be about games. So the games area of TikTok will be headed up by Asaf Sagi, who has been posting on LinkedIn, if you've been following him. Now, TikTok aren't a stranger to games. They've been doing some demos for a while. They've worked with Zynga, for instance. They've also said that they were looking to launch a game service in Southeast Asia in Q3, I think it was, 2022. So we're getting up for that now, so there you go. So lots of things have been around and about, but there is a live stream event on Wednesday. You can still sign up for it. I think it's something. I think there are two 2 o'clock in the morning GMT, and also there's one at 3 o'clock in the morning as well. So depending on whereabout in the world you are, there'll be one close to you. But Netflix have been down this road, and everybody's sort of seen this kind of rise of gaming versus sort of films, etc. So obviously having another go at that and see where that goes. We have a new transmission record for broadband, should we call it. This is a 1.84 petabytes per second. Now, to put that into perspective, that is twice the global amount of data transfer that the internet uses in the same amount of time. That's twice. So how did they do this? Because that does sound absurdly quick. Well, what they did is they took a laser, and I think it was an infrared laser, and they then split it into 233 separate channels or frequencies, and along each one of those frequencies they then communicated the data. They can then sort of join it all back together and recombine the data, and that's how you got that amazing amount of bandwidth. So apparently this was, I think it was in Denmark and Sweden, the two universities that actually did this, but they say that 1.84 petabytes is just the start. They're looking at 100 petabytes. So there you go. So the future of fibre optic broadband is quite bright, quite literally. You must have seen this in the news. This is Elon actually finally buying Twitter. The will he, won't he saga has finally finished. First thing, I should explain, why is he carrying a sink into Twitter? Now, so he did actually post, like, let this sink in, and he said what we might have to do is dress up as a Halloween costume, and they would literally have to let that sink in, and that's exactly what he's doing. So it's basically a dad joke pun, letting the sink in. So that said, there have been some, let's say, some problems with it, and also some sort of rays of hope. So the problems are that as soon as he announced this, obviously lots of right-wing commenters then sort of started to say, well, great, we're now back on Twitter, and lots of people who were banned were going to be unbanned. It turns out that actually the moderation rules are still the same, but lots of people have been actually trying. I think there was an attack, should we call it, 300 accounts all trying to then tweet lots of different things that were previously banned, just to see how they can actually stretch the system. Also in the same time, Mastodon and Discord, two, let's say, alternatives to Twitter, although they are very much lower. Mastodon, for instance, is a sort of a strange concept when you get on there, but it's definitely worth a look if you're inclined to leave Twitter. There you go. Twitter is now a Musk company. The person sensor. So this is a really cheap board, but also if you're into your making of things, so Arduino, Raspberry Pi, that sort of thing, you should definitely have a look at these. Also sold out. Also, I've got one on order. It is less than $10. So what does this board do? It has a camera built in there, and it also has the machine learning learning to do face detection, which is why it's a person sensor. So you just literally plug this into your, say, Arduino board or whatever your your favorite programming language is, and I've copied the C code, or this is the Arduino interface code, and that is literally the code. In fact, you don't even need, let's say, a third of that code, because a lot of it is just printing out the results. But what it will do is it will detect a face, tell you there's a face, it will detect multiple faces, you can even use it to detect whether it's got a specific face in view, and it will then tell you the X and Y coordinates of each one of those faces. So you just plug this in and you're ready to go. So if you want to use this for your homemade security cameras, or in their demos to track a fan across a screen if you move left and right, that sort of thing, then I just thought it's remarkable that this is that cheap, but also that it's all got that built into a chip these days, and you can see the size of it. It is tiny. Person sensor. This is the latest Gillette advert, or this was by Gillette Labs. This is their sort of special advert. This was on Monday Night TV, sorry, Monday Night Football in the US. And as you're seeing, this is a mixed reality ad. Now, there's nothing particularly new about this, but it was it just got a lot of commentary online just because it was so over the top, and therefore it caused a lot of sort of consternation and also a lot of comment about brand saliency, or sort of just brand awareness versus brand love. So there were lots of comparisons over Dollar Shave Club, but Dollar Shave Club have got a tiny market share compared to Gillette. So if you're in any doubt who the razor blade technology masters are, it's probably Gillette at the moment. This obsession with technology in razor blades. There you go. I would say they probably know their market, and also they've got people talking about it because I've shown it to you as well. So there you go. And finally, now I'm not going to come out either way for this about the protest movement, but I just thought this was just really interesting because I haven't seen one of these in a while. I thought these were disallowed or had been sort of frowned upon, but apparently they're still available. So what is this? If you want to protest and you can't get down to your local art gallery and throw custard at very expensive paintings, or superglue yourself to things, then you can do it all in the comfort of your own home, and you can protest about NFTs. So you essentially create a new bookmark, you copy the code, you put it in the bookmark, and then you save the bookmark. Anytime you come to a site that you like to protest about, you then call it the bookmark, and then you can click around the screen and throw what they call mashed potato or pie at it, or indeed superglue your hand to the screen. Now, clearly, it's all meant as a little bit of a joke. I do not condone doing that, but there you go. Just thought it was funny, and always a nice thing to end on. There you go. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully it was useful. As I say, give us a like, give us a share. That would be amazing, and I will see you next week.